True terror isn't staring down a beast. It's realizing the monster facing you eats its own brothers. In the silent brush where a single twitch spells doom, these serpents don't bluff, they don't rattle warnings, and they show zero mercy. It's not just a brawl. It's a high-stakes war of nerves, toxins, sinew, and raw gut reaction. And in this savage arena, even the jungle's most lethal assassin can end up on the menu in a heartbeat. Cloaked by foliage and gloom, a slender viper slides forward with arrogance, oblivious to the eyes tracking its every scale. A second serpent, bulkier, icier, and possessing infinite patience, closes the gap inch by deadly inch. Silence reigns. Then chaos. The trap springs like a grenade. Fangs hammer home, pumping a nerve-wrecking cocktail meant to extinguish the spark of life instantly. Bedlam ensues. The smaller reptile goes berserk, thrashing and snapping in a frantic, instinct-driven bid for freedom. However, poison isn't a light switch. It's a thief. It steals authority over the body first. Limbs turn to jelly. Responses lag. Every motion turns sloppy, frantic, tragic. The assailant doesn't panic. It hovers. This is calculated murder. A second strike hits nearer to the skull, sealing the deal. The fight drains away. The former apex hunter goes limp, demoted to nothing but dinner. But the wild doesn't play favorites. In a flash, the script flips. A non-venomous strangler packing nothing but dense muscle and impeccable timing takes a bite but refuses to crumble. Instead, it counters. Heavy loops whip forward, cinching tight around the biter's throat. The squeeze tightens with every exhale. Circulation stalls. Air vanishes. A mouthful of venom is useless when your jaw is clamped shut by living steel. This is the jungle's iron law. Dominance is fleeting. A single slip-up, a split-second lag, and your crown is gone. Here, survival is measured in milliseconds, and pity is a foreign concept. If you have the stomach to see how these lethal duels spiral out of control, stick around, smash that like button, and subscribe right now, because the upcoming footage pushes the definition of survival to the brink. Out here, carrying a biological weapon doesn't promise a win. Sometimes it just buys you a few moments, and often not even that. Just as one viper polishes off a meal belly full and reflexes dulled, a far more ruthless shadow looms over it. Emerging from the gloom is a specialized killer. Faster, leaner, engineered for a singular mission, devouring its own kin. The attack is instant. Fangs sink deep, aiming for the jugular, flooding the system with toxins designed to wrap things up in minutes. But this victim isn't ready to die. Massive rings of muscle lash out with concussive power. The grip hardens like iron cables. This isn't fear, it's tactical warfare. With every squeeze, oxygen is purged, blood flow halts, and the venomous aggressor feels the upper hand slipping through its scales. Poison requires minutes. Strangling requires moments. The brawl turns into a quiet marathon of pain. One fighter bets on chemistry, the other bets on physics. Every ticking second rewards the tightening grip. The biter's head is immobilized. Fangs are neutralized. No second dose can be delivered. Breath becomes the ultimate luxury. Then a break. With one last adrenaline surge, the venomous hunter rips free and flees, choosing life over pride. In this domain, running away isn't cowardice, it's genius. The skirmish concludes without a corpse, but the lesson stands: not every bite kills, and no predator leaves a fight the same way they entered. Moments later, a fresh scene plays out. A serpent fixated on an easy snack never spots the doom creeping up behind it. The execution is flawless. One surgical chomp, no wrestling match, no do-overs. The neurotoxin drifts through the blood, and in seconds motor functions cease. The stalker is now the carcass once again. That is the brutal pulse of nature. Glory is temporary. A pause is fatal. And the next Grim Reaper is always closer than you think. If you want to watch the stakes rise as speed, toxicity, and pure rage collide, keep your eyes glued to the screen, hit like and subscribe, because the next segment features killers that never blink. When two titans clash, there's no polite introduction, no posturing, no second chances. The atmosphere turns frigid as one of the planet's most feared snake-eaters arrives. Silent, locked in, sculpted by evolution to dismantle other killers without a stutter. It glides with calculated swagger, reading the Earth's tremors, tasting the heat, measuring the gap. Up ahead, a behemoth rests sluggish from a recent feast. Slow, dulled senses, exposed for the first time in hours. That split second of weakness is the only invitation a master hunter requires. The assault is instantaneous. a blur of motion targeting the skull, delivering a chemical payload strong enough to crash a nervous system. But mass has its merits. The giant target responds with raw power, throwing its heavy frame around the assailant. Coils engage. Pressure skyrockets. It is pure venom against pure constriction. Sinew strains against bone. Blood pressure plummets by the second. The aggressor's head is jammed, mouth pinned shut. The poison is in, but the dose was too low, too slow. The giant doesn't need toxins. It just needs time and suffocation. The arena transforms from a sprint into a grueling test of stamina. Seconds feel like hours. One beast gasps for air. The other fights to close the show. Finally, in a frantic scramble, the venomous attacker tears loose, abandoning the prize. Self-preservation trumps hunger. Retreat is the only option left. But the apex predator doesn't stay hungry for long. Slipping through the dense undergrowth, it locks onto a new mark, smaller tardy, with zero exit strategy. There is no drawn-out wrestling match today. A disciplined approach, a pinpoint strike. Toxin injects, muscles freeze. The victim hits the dirt before its brain even registers the attack. In the Serpent Kingdom, being the boss isn't just about girth. It's about making high-stakes choices under fire, knowing exactly when to launch and when to vanish. If you want to see how even the kings of the jungle crumble when they misjudge a rival, smash like, leave a comment and subscribe, because the next part unveils a hunter that is immune to fear and to poison itself. There is a rogue agent in the snake world that defies the laws of nature. It doesn't need blazing speed. It doesn't use venom. And the scariest part? It doesn't care if you bite it. This beast stalks targets that other animals flee from, turning the Earth's most toxic reptiles into helpless snacks. Blending into the dirt, it lurks, body loose, pulse calm. Up ahead, a lethal viper coils in defense, sensing a presence but reacting a fraction too late. The takedown is abrupt and total. The hunter lunges, wrapping its torso around the victim before fangs can pierce skin. The reaction is chaotic, furious strikes, repeated bites, but they are futile. This killer has venom in its bloodline, or rather, a resistance to it. What drops other animals in minutes barely registers here. As the trapped viper fights harder, the squeeze tightens. Drawing a breath becomes a Herculean task. Circulation is severed. Panic hastens the fatigue. Vitality drains away fast. This isn't a messy brawl, it's a procedure. The hunter shifts its grip, controlling the head, neutralizing any more bites. The prey's struggles grow faint, sluggish, until they cease entirely. Silence falls. Another deadly legend has been erased without a drop of poison, without a hint of doubt. Nearby, a different drama unfolds. A rattling tail buzzes a warning, a desperate bid to ward off the reaper. It doesn't work. The hunter pushes forward, ignoring the threat, ignoring the risk. The routine repeats: wrap, crush, wait. The fight leaves the victim's eyes. The result is written in stone. In the wild, fear keeps most things breathing. But some killers evolve past terror. They find calm where others find panic. And that ice-cold composure is what makes them invincible. If it blows your mind that venom can be rendered useless by the right opponent, tap that like button, drop a comment and subscribe now, because the final act brings you a clash where size, fury, and hopelessness crash together in the grimmest survival test of all. The last stand isn't a blur of motion. It is heavy, deliberate, and thick with dread. A gargantuan constrictor dominates the terrain, banking on its sheer bulk and power. Few things mess with a giant like this, and fewer walk away if they do. But desperation forces risky moves. Its prey lashes out with pure rage, refusing to go quietly. Teeth clamp down, pain flares, and the brawl escalates. The constrictor thrashes violently but maintains its hold. It never lets go. Speed and poison aren't in its playbook. Endurance is the only game it knows. Gradually, the coils adjust. Not just tighter, smarter. With every twitch from the trapped beast, the pressure ratchets up. Inhaling becomes a memory. Power fades. This fight is no longer about offense or defense. It's about the clock. And time always sides with the one who keeps their cool. Minutes drift by. The struggle dies down. The final twitches aren't violent, just exhausted spasms. When the danger clears, the constrictor relaxes, its grip dragging its prize into the shadows. No victory lap. No break. In the wild, survival doesn't leave room for reflection. These battles expose the raw truth of nature's ladder. There are no eternal monarchs, only those who survive today. Venom can miss. Muscle can meet its match. Speed can be misjudged. The only unbreakable rule is this: hesitation equals a death sentence. Every serpent you witness today played both the assassin and the target. In this realm, being on top lasts only until the next face-off. And somewhere close by, another shadow is already watching, waiting for you to blink. If watching deadly vipers lurk and strike left you breathless, hit that like, share the Venom, and subscribe. Your support lets us hunt down more raw, unscripted attacks from the undergrowth and bring the danger straight to your screen.